We started. Have something to say.
There will be questions, and there will be answers.
There will be questions, there will be answers.
We will answer what we know.
If you know, you will answer. How are you doing?
Fine. Fine.
Fine. What's good?
We're being fed. Yes, there is somewhere to sleep, food and water. There is a TV.
Getting beaten?
No, they don't hit us.
Why?
Very good.
Why don't they hit?
They don't offend at all.
Why don't they hit?
Don't know.
Don't know. Who were you before you came to war?
A builder.
A builder?
Uh-huh.
In Grozny?
Well, throughout the Republic.
All over Republic. What about you?
I worked in a private security company, in store security, in Moscow.
In a private security
In
company
Moscow,
and
yes.
in Moscow?
There was a grocery store, Lenta Bila.
Yes, well, security.
Yes.
Have you served before?
No.
Never at all?
No, after the hostilities, conscripts were not accepted. I worked in a private security in 2010 until the beginning of 2012. In 2012, I quite arrived in Moscow.
And in Moscow all the time?
Yes, I came and left. I worked on shifts.
How much is the salary in Moscow?
Well, initially, when I got a job as security guard at a private security company, it was 43.
43, and then the last one?
Well, gradually, lately I've been getting 65, 70.
Being a builder, how much did you get paid?
Well, the salary was piecework.
Well, how much on average?
On average, 50, 60.
Is it there in the Republic?
Yes.
I see. How were you mobilized? Let's go in order, because I'll be honest, this is the first time this has happened to us. When you say that after the Second Chechen War they weren't recruiting conscripts.
They didn't recruit when I was 18 years old. There were still some military actions going on there. Therefore, when I was 18 years old, conscripts were not recruited.
In the end, you never served.
I didn't serve, yes. This is my first contract.
Moreover, it will be interesting, because you in fact are just as mobilized as in the Russian army, right?
Since the job came up, there are contractors to work there.
How much do your contractors earn?
We don't know exactly. I received 38.
When did you start serving?
Yes, how I got the job.
Let's have some kind of logical chain. How were you mobilized?
Well, jobs have appeared.
Were you mobilized or just called, or how was it?
Well, we got a job as a contract worker, like contract soldiers. These are contract soldiers.
How did they tell you that you had to go work? You worked as a builder. Why? Moreover, you received 50, but now you start receiving 38. What is the logic of moving from a higher paying job?
When we got to work, they were told to pay 65 salaries. Maybe there is a probationary period of 3 months. Maybe because of this we got 38, 35.
Let's take things in order. How did you come to the conclusion that you need to go to work in the army under a contract?
Jobs have appeared.
But you are a builder, you work it for yourself.
Yes.
Suddenly you went to the military registration, or what? How did you find out about this?
Well, there was talk throughout the Republic that there were jobs there. Anyone who wants to can go and get a job as a contract worker.
What conditions were promised?
They promised good salaries.
Did they say what needs to be done?
That goes to war right away? No, they didn't.
Where are you? Did you go to the military registration and enlistment office?
Yes.
Is this in Grozny?
Yes.
What did they say there?
They didn't say anything, simply passed a military medical examination and got a job like an ordinary contract soldier.
What medical commission? Have they checked your health?
Yeah, they checked.
Or for show?
No, they were checking my health. Complete tests were made, everything is as it should be.
When was this? What date?
It must have been August. Late July or early August.
Yes. Are you together or are you different?
Together,
In
yes.
one
In one regiment, in one company, it turns out.
Were you call it in different ways from different places?
I'm from Naderechny, from Naur. Our order came out on September 2.
Yes, our orders are all the same.
We
Understood.
spent a month at the training ground and arrived there on October 15th.
On September 2, you were called up and signed contracts.
Yes.
Where were you sent?
To the territory of Ukraine.
Did you sign the contract in Akhmat Sever?
Yes.
And you too?
Yes.
Is this how it was
Yes,
right
yes,
in Akhmat
yes.
Sever? Which training ground did you go to?
In the Republic,
Yes.
Shalinsky and Kalinovsky.
Uh-huh. What were you taught there?
How to charge and discharge.
Everything that a soldier should be able to do was taught.
What should a soldier be able to do? I think you already knew that you were going to war.
At that time, we didn't
When
know
we
yet.
were at the training ground, we didn't know.
How much have you shot at the firing range?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah, there
Were there a lot of cartridges?
20 days, give or take, we were at the training ground.
Around the magazine or more?
15-20 rounds per magazine per day.
Well, I'll tell you that you shot the most because other representatives of the army did not shoot at all. Well, there's half there, maybe a magazine at most.
Well, at first they taught us how to disassemble and assemble a machine
Well, I
gun.
see.
Rifle. Yes, and then shoot first with blanks and then they were trained with live ammunition.
Uh-huh. Blanks?
Yes, there are blanks there.
Where did you come to in Ukraine? Which region?
To Donetsk.
And then what? How many people did you come with?
I don't know the exact number. There were probably 200, 300 people.
And everyone from Akhmat.
Yes.
Yes.
From our battalion.
Were the professional soldiers there?
Well, these guys from the police who made the transfer, here they were too. And there were also volunteers who got jobs themselves.
But I take it from what I hear, you didn't volunteer.
Why, we went ourselves?
No, well, the fact that you went yourself, as I understand it, conditions were created under which you could not refuse.
Well, there was already an order there.
Did you say something about you don't want to go to war?
Well, there was an order and we arrived.
Did you see Kadyrov there?
We're in Grozny.
Yes.
Yes, we saw.
What was he saying?
Well, he didn't say anything special.
Yeah, there was a general formation.
Yes, there was
We
a
saw
general
him
formation.
Do you really remember what he said? Very interesting.
Honestly, I can't remember.
Well, approximately, at least something.
I can't
Anyway,
remember.
this was before you left, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He came before us leaving. Yes.
That is a joke, I know what he was saying. I watched this
Well, I
video.
can't remember what he said.
We literally don't know.
No, it doesn't need to be verbatim. No need to word for word. Just what did he convey to you? What will you do? Why are you doing? Who are you going to protect?
Basically, honestly, I don't know. I can't remember what he said.
Do you have the same problem as the lieutenant?
Yes, no.
What we just said, well, it will be funny, and again it will look like a kindergarten.
Yes, no, there is no kindergarten. What he said, I'm telling you, I can't remember.
Well, you can't.
There were a lot of people, it was noisy.
Was it noisy when he spoke? I think everyone was silent.
Well, we were just standing in the third, fourth, maybe fifth, sixth rows.
It's clear. You arrived in Ukraine. What happens next?
We spent time there at the factory.
How long did you spend at the factory?
More than a month.
A month and a half, I think
Until
so.
November 15th. In October, you...
We arrived in October 18th and spent more than a month at the factory.
Yes, let it be. December 20, where are you from
Well,
the factory?
There was a factory in the Donetsk region. I don't know exactly where. From there we went to positions.
What was in position?
There were trenches, there were dugouts. The task was to defend. There was no task to storm. The task was to
Yes,
defend.
there was only defense.
Did ours go on the attack?
Didn't see it.
We saw yours when they took us.
Haven't seen before.
How many hours were you in position? Or days?
3
It was
days.
3 days.
3 days in position, 3 days at the factory.
Yes, 3 days in the rear, 3 days in position.
Were there any shellings?
Yes.
There were mortars.
There were mortars and tanks.
Did you have any dead or wounded?
Yes.
There were also many wounded.
How many people?
In every company, in every one, I don't know how many there were, but that day when we went to the positions, a battle began and drones threw grenades. There were 10 of us, 5 of the 10 were wounded. They were sent to the rear, leaving 5 of us there. And the mortar hit us, and the tank and mortar continuously, and the tank hit us without interruption. And the drones were throwing grenades at us non-stop like that. And among the 5 of us, there were also wounded and contusions.
We were waiting for help.
Have it came?
No.
Why?
Or maybe
Don't know.
they didn't hear, maybe there was a problem with the radio, maybe there was a problem with the connection.
How far is the position from the rear?
No, 700, 800
We
meters.
don't know exactly.
700, 800, so they heard and saw it all? What does this
Exactly,
mean?
we honestly don't know
We
how
don't
many,
know
what
why help
distances.
didn't come.
We went there at night, but we didn't know the exact distances. We don't remember.
If you say it's 700 meters, let it be plus or minus.
Yes, plus or minus, yes.
700 meters is a 5-minute walk.
We spent 3 hours shooting and ran out of ammunition.
There were 5 of us. There were both contusion and wounded people.
What did they tell you? Not to surrender or to surrender?
There
This
was
did
no
not
such
happen.
conversation. There was no giving up or not giving up. The task was simply to defend. We defended as much as we could.
Essentially, you finished defending because there was nothing
Yes.
left.
And there was nothing, yes, and apparently there was a problem with the radio and communication. We called for help, but apparently they didn't hear.
What kind of radios did you have?
These are simple ones.
400 meters.
Which?
400 meters.
400 meters? What is it? 400 meters.
Meters, yes.
Boafeng.
Well, the smallest, cheapest radio.
Cheap?
No,
Yes.
I think it was a kilometer, in my opinion.
Well, not Motorola, not Boafeng.
No, not Motorola's. Definitely not Motorola's, in
So
my
it
opinion.
seems like maybe you should have a...
Kenwood were.
And yes, Kenwood.
Kenwood?
Yes,
Well,
but
I
we
don't know.
called for help. Apparently they didn't hear.
Yes, we didn't get through.
There were 5 of us, shell-shocked and wounded. We defended as much as we could, and the ammunition ran out. Apparently the guys didn't hear, or there could be a problem with the connection. But the fact is, there was no help.
Your wife read the message.
What did there? She writes, right?
She doesn't write anything yet, it just shows that it's been delivered. Well, I didn't expect to hear that they left their own people in trouble.
Well, they didn't left us, more
Well,
likely...
700 meters away they heard and saw it all. Everyone understands that when a tank fires, you can see that it's shooting.
But the tank as we went there hit our positions non-stop. Both the tank and the mortar hit without stopping.
Nice tank. Yes?
Well, there was a tank on the right side and most likely a mortar on the left. Well, on the way out. They didn't quit. Apparently, there was a problem with the connection. There was something like that.
You decided to yourself that there was a problem with the connection. Okay, then.
Well, in any case, they should have heard the shooting.
Who needs this war?
I honestly didn't know. We are not politicians.
Not politicians.
We don't understand politics. You and I will not know who benefits from this and who does not.
Why don't we know?
Well, we are small people.
And what?
Well, we won't know
Let's
for sure who benefits
Interested
from this.
to know?
Yes. Who needs it?
Figure out what's going on. I have one question. What did the Ukrainians do to you, Chechens? Let's answer this question.
What?
Please translate.
What did the Ukrainians do to the Chechens? They didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, when we had a war, I know that they didn't do anything wrong.
Ukrainians fought on the side of the Chechens.
Yes.
Was?
Yes.
Then another logical next question arises. If we didn't do anything bad to you, why did you come to kill us?
We didn't come here to kill anyone. We went to work. We didn't know whether we would go there or not.
Wait, you came to Ukraine, you were given weapons. You say call it work. You were in positions and shot at our soldiers. Can you guarantee that you didn't kill anyone?
There, yes.
Why are you sure?
The guys were talking there.
Who took you prisoner?
Yes.
What if you killed?
It would have been different there.
But did you shoot with the intent to kill?
We fired back, but we did not storm. If we wanted to kill, we would storm. But we didn't storm, we shot back.
Can you kill by shooting back?
Can. If you aim and shoot carefully, you can.
Then what, you were feigning defense?
We shoot back so that they wouldn't come near us. We had a task.
You were shooting in the air? People were shot at?
The task was to defend.
Right. Question. Why are Chechens defending themselves on Ukrainian soil, in Ukraine? From Ukrainians who are at home. Which ones do what? What are your military doing?
They don't do anything.
No, our military is liberating the occupied land. You occupied it. Do you agree? With me?
Yes. Yes.
If not, let's talk about why not. Have you been to the territory of Ukraine?
Yes.
Was the trench dug in Ukrainian soil?
Probably yes. If the Donetsk region is Ukraine, then yes.
Donetsk region, I authoritatively declare to you that this is Ukraine.
So in Ukraine.
Defending Ukrainian land in a trench can only be defended if it is under the Ukrainian flag. If you're under a different flag, in a foreign country, you're an occupier. That's what history says. Let's figure it out if you're interested and you're not in a hurry. Or are you in a hurry to get somewhere?
We're not in a hurry.
But I don't know, maybe there are some things going on. Don't know. Cross-stitching.
No.
No?
No.
Let's try to figure out who needs it. Interested in finding out. There are two options, either interesting or uninteresting. The answer to this question
Of course, I wonder where, really.
Shall we sort it out?
Yes, let's try.
I don't know either. Maybe now we'll come to the conclusion that you have the truth.
I don't know, here, we are far from politics.
It's clear.
We still won't understand who is interested in this, who needs it.
How did the First Chechen War begin?
I don't know either. I was too young.
Well, haven't you learned your history?
Well, they tried to separate from Russia.
Right.
Free Ichkeria.
Free Ichkeria? You understand correctly.
Yet there was one. It was a mess, to be honest.
Why is it a mess? There was a parade of republics leaving the Soviets from the Soviet Union. The republics emerged and become sovereign, independent countries. The Chechen Republic said, we also want to be independent.
Yes.
They said, we will be Ichkeria.
Yes,
Was it like
yes,
that?
it was Ichkeria.
What happened next?
Ichkeria existed for 2 years. Then federal troops came in again. It's war again.
It's war again. Who fought in the Second Chechen War? Who's with whom? Who is it globally different from the First Chechen War?
In the First Chechen War, everyone fought protecting their families.
Yes, but what about the Second Chechen War?
There too, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't know who fought there. There was a war, but it was not clear who fought and with whom.
Whose side was the Kadyrov family on?
Don't know.
To the Second Chechen
I
War?
don't know.
You know?
Ramzan Kadyrov's father, Ahmad, was with the
Yes.
people.
During the Second Chechen War, the Kadyrov family clan fought on the side of the federal troops of the Russian Federation. They killed and cleared Chechen settlements side by side with soldiers of the Russian Federation Army. Did I explain clearly? Or a complex design? Look, there was the First Chechen War. Who won it?
We. Ichkeria has won. Ichkeria.
Ichkeria has
Yes.
won. What happens next? Why did the Second Chechen War begin?
I don't know. We're not politicians.
Look, I see,
we
me
were
too.
just children at that time. We didn't understand
Look,
what
I'm
was there.
generally an ordinary blogger. I'm so far from politics that I don't even talk about it. But there is a history that you know about. In the First Chechen War, you won with your words. Yes? Yes. How did it happen that a country of 1.5 million people defeated a hefty country?
Well, that's why it was beneficial for someone, this war. This needs to be discussed with officials. They brought order, didn't restore it, and left it again.
Yes.
We cannot give answers to such questions.
Look, your country. Russia realized that it would not be possible to defeat the freedom-loving Chechens. And they went the classic way by bribery. They bribed the Kadyrov clan. Well, Kadyrov's clan family. They started pouring money into them. And Kadyrov, in fact, took charge of this, let's call them, I would even say, within the country, betrayal movements. When the Second Chechen War began, he, together with Russian army, killed Chechens. They cleared populated areas and villages. They climbed the mountain
At
there.
that time, we generally had no idea who was with whom.
It's clear, I'm telling this for the viewer, but you know it all. Of course, you won't say this now, because you will need to return.
I always says what I see. Yes, but I know it's just that in our village, in our region, he helped the poor a lot.
Right. Why did he do this?
Don't know, well, you can't please everyone. For some he will be
No,
good, for other
not
he
like
will be
that.
bad.
He betrayed his people, and he distributed the money that was sent to him from Moscow to the locals. This is how he bribed people. Yes.
I don't know, I just didn't see it. I can't
Look.
attest to it.
Let's take a regular model. People feel bad after the war.
Yes.
Agree? Devastation, destroyed, many killed.
Yes.
There is no work, there is nothing. Here comes...
They need to survive.
They need to survive, right. The Kadyrov family appears, which starts throwing money left and right. And naturally, people take them because they need it. In this case, in essence, loyalty is bought. Do you understand what I am talking about?
Yes, yes.
People start watching.
Gradually, yes, listen to him.
Yes, God has appeared to help us, and we should be grateful.
That is an ordinary thing.
I didn't come up with this. It's not some kind of conclusion. It's like a history. You lived on. You lived on. Chechnya was being rebuilt. Well, you know, right, that Russia pays you tribute.
I don't know.
Well, Chechnya is a subsidized region. Subsidized. You understand?
On that count, we don't know that.
Do you know the word subsidized?
I know.
This means it spends more than it can earn.
For loyalty,
No. It means, okay, differently. What does Chechnya produce?
oil,
Well, how much of it is produced?
don't know. I don't know how much.
Well, I'm telling you that it is not enough to support the entire country, pay pensions, and provide all social benefits.
Republic.
Yes, a republic. You don't produce anything that can cover all the expenses. All jeeps, cars, and Kadyrov's armies. All the places are beautiful, which were built in Grozny after the war. Russia pays you money, very big money, like a tribute that was both then and continues now.